Welcome back to another video. My name is Abby and thank you for joining me today. We are talking about how to use the law of assumption, 3 steps to do it. If you're new to this channel and you want to amplify your self-awareness, start right now by hitting that subscribe and bell notifications so you don't miss anything. So back to the law of assumption. Now, for those of you who are new or maybe are well-versed, this comes from Neville Goddard, one of the greatest teachers, I believe, in the 20th century. He was a pioneer in law of attraction, and one of his greatest nuggets of wisdom that he shared with this world was a law of assumption. What does that mean? It basically means whatever it is that you assume to be true, it is. You create your own reality, and that reality is compartmentalized basically from all else that's possible by your assumptions. It alienates it. So yes, right now your life is entirely run by your assumptions. The great news is if you want to make a change, you change your assumptions. So even though it's a very simple idea, assumptions, right, it can be very complex because sometimes we don't actually know what our assumptions are. So how do we find those? How do we not only become aware of the assumptions that we have in our life that are creating a situation that we don't want to experience, but then how do we have a consistent model so that those change in assumptions become a change in reality? The first thing you need to understand is the word manifest, right? You hear that a lot with the law of attraction, as well as in Neville Goddard's work and the law of assumption. So manifesting, what has helped me to understand, is another word for it would be reveal. That you're going to manifest, you're going to reveal whatever it is that you believe to be true, whatever consciousness level you are. And consciousness, another word would be awareness, right? So it's really important to become clear about what you're actually talking about. I've heard and seen so many different people talking about manifesting as if it's some skill that they need to acquire, and it's not about a skill, because whatever it is in your life right now, you're manifesting it. It's more about the awareness of what is being revealed, right? So if you want to change in what you're manifesting and what you're revealing in your external world, whether it be relationship, finances, career, even location of where you live, it has to do with more about what is being revealed, right? If we were in a movie theater and somebody was, shooting the movie through the projector, we wouldn't go and try to change the screen. We'd understand, oh, the screen is just a reflection. It's just revealing what's on the contents of that film. So we actually need to go up to that box and take out that old film and put in a new one. That's the best way to understand what manifesting is. It's not about what's happening and changing matter with matter in your external world, but going into the deeper inner work of changing your consciousness level. So let's get started. How do you use the law of assumption? Well, first you look at your life and you see what it is right now that you wish was different, right? You need to focus on what is it? Is it a relationship that you wish that you could have? Is it a financial security that you long for? Or is it a career, having more purpose, having more meaning in life? Whatever it is that you want to change, that you want a different reality, a different revelation in your external world, you need to get very clear. What is happening now? Bringing the awareness, where did that come from? What are your assumptions about your financial status? Do you feel like you're not somebody, maybe you've never had money and you don't really think you're worthy of money? There's nothing that you could do to bring value that you'd actually get money? Potentially it's about relationships. Maybe you don't see yourself as lovable. Maybe you don't see yourself as attractive, or you have anything to give, or maybe you always have experienced this rejection from people. You have a certain amount of assumptions on how you see the world to be. You assume it to be true that you're not attractive. You assume it to be true that you'll never have $100,000 or even $1 million. What is fortifying those assumptions? What experiences have cemented those assumptions, which you're just assuming that to be true? You haven't really confronted it to the nth degree. The people who have assumptions in their life and they make dramatic changes, whether it be about weight loss or even financial status, you see them go from living in their car to multi-million-dollar homes, is because they confronted those assumptions and then they proved that they weren't actually true. The truth of them was simply their belief in them. So your only limitation is the idea that you have a limitation. So when you're looking at this step one, where you're focusing your attention on where it is in your life that you wish you had, there was a change. So you want to look and see, what assumption do you have? Maybe it goes back all the way to your childhood. Maybe authority figure told you that you weren't very smart. Maybe somebody told you that you're ugly when you were little, and you've taken that and you've assumed it to be true. Understandably so, you were traumatized in that moment, and you hold that trauma and you take that wound until that wound is discharged emotionally and transmuted into wisdom. It will continually have control over your life, because you will make assumptions and decisions based on that false idea as if it's true, and it's not. So this has to do with you getting in there and confronting those wounds and looking at why you act like you do. Why do you assume the things that you do? Why do you think that you're a person inside of this box and all these other desires are outside of you? Get very clear on where you are and where you want to be. Now, the second step to the law of assumption is now assuming from that where you are now to where you want to be, is assuming that wish already fulfilled. Now, this is a secret, and this is actually bringing in Dr. Joe Dispenza's work into Neville Goddard's work. I love fusion of ideas and energy, and the idea is Neville Goddard always talks about the feeling, right? The feeling is a secret. Well, Dr. Joe Dispenza helped my awareness to realize, okay, it's not just about a temporary feeling and an elevated emotion. It is about convincing your body. I'm going to say that again. This is about convincing your body that your wish desired has already happened. Think about that for a second. Think about how much vivid visualization, consistent stimulus to create it on the outside world as much as you can to convince your body that it already has happened. Every time you think a thought, your body releases a chemical. So think about all the times that you're doubting, oh, look, that person rejected me. That's happening again. Oh, yep, I got turned down for that job. I knew it. All of those are releasing chemicals where you feel not worthy, where you feel rejected, where you feel like nothing ever works out for you. Whatever emotional addiction that you have, which I believe is also what fortifies assumptions, is emotional addictions, where you think the thought, the body feels it, and that's what you get used to as a way of life. The feeling is the secret. Convincing your body that it already happened is the secret, because then neurologically your body doesn't know that it hasn't happened. So it has the framework, the physiological framework in your brain as if it's happened. And there's been numerous scientific studies showing this. There was one that was about piano playing. They had 3 different groups. One group played the piano for an hour a day, 6 days a week for 4 weeks. Those aren't the exact numbers, but it was that kind of framework. The second group did the exact same amount of time, but all they did was visualize that they were playing the piano. They never actually touched a key. The third group did nothing. Now, when they scanned their brains, the first group, who actually played the piano, they could see the new neurological pathways. The third group, who did nothing, had no increase in any sort of neurological changes in their framework. The second group showed significant changes in their brain that echoed that of people who actually played. That's how powerful vivid visualization is. Now, the secret here, feeling is a secret, convincing your body that it already happened is a secret. Now, on a quantum physics level, your electromagnetic signature that you send out to the universe, that is comprised of your thoughts and very intense feelings. The electric is the thought, the magnetic is a feeling. You send the thought out and you bring it back. So you have to do it on such a level that you convince your body that it has already happened. That is step 2. Now, the third step that is often overlooked but often experienced is that once you have this, you identify and then you convince your body it's already happened, form that new neurological pathway, and start experiencing different things because you're sending out a new electromagnetic signature, is to allow it to be done. Just as Neville says, and it is done. And you let it, you know it's coming. There's no doubt in your mind. But so often people are going through the process and it's like, oh, has it happened yet? Oh, is it there yet? Oh, great, it's not coming. Is it going to come? Am I doing it right? So it's like, I'm sure many of you guys out there have heard of the website Amazon.com, right? It is obviously a huge platform for people online purchasing. And one of the things they're known for is their delivery is like that. I've seen memes where it's like you click order and then you're looking out the window because they do it so quickly. Well, if you've ever ordered on Amazon, you click it and you forget it. You know that it's going to happen. You know that in a certain amount of days or even hours, that package is going to be at your doorstep. You don't doubt it. You're not contacting Amazon. You're not contacting the buyer or the seller, right, that you purchased it from. You just know it's going to happen. You've already exchanged that information. You gave it out and you know it's coming back. The same trust needs to be happening in your process, that once you have that, once you're convicted, you have convinced your body that this has already happened, you trust that it will come. You know that you're sending out that new electromagnetic signature into the quantum field, and that will be reflected. It has no choice. It is the echo to your origin of the sound. It doesn't have a choice to stop and think about it, or maybe, I don't know, is this person worth it? It is just as if you jump on a trampoline. When you jump on a trampoline, all it does is it rebounds, it goes back, right? Takes the energy and it pushes the energy back. That's all the universe is. It's a quantum field of reflection. It will bounce it back to you based on your inner consciousness level. And that is the secret, convincing your body that it has already happened, trusting in that process. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, one way to help massively spread this message would be to hit the like button. It helps with the algorithm and for more eyeballs to see it. Also hit subscribe if you haven't to see my next videos, and I will see you on the next one.